As 2022 winds down, thoughts turn to the 2023 Formula One season. In addition to the season premiere, what other exciting developments can we look forward to? Do you think Hamilton will return to the front of the pack? When Max Verstappen tries to defend his world championship for a second time, who will he face as an opponent? After hiring Vasseur, can Ferrari expect a return to form? In addition, which rookie will blow our minds the most? All things to keep an eye out for in the upcoming season. Let's get into it. First up, you guessed it, we're talking about Mercedes. As for Mercedes, it was a pivotal year. Mercedes' big comeback year. After 8 consecutive championships, Mercedes struck rock bottom in F1 in 2022. The German team won just one race, finished third in the Constructors' title, and was so close to Ferrari only because Ferrari continued making mistakes. Mercedes would like to rapidly move past the W13 and into the 2023 era. The stakes continue to rise for Mercedes. The team is in a unique position due to the expiration of Lewis Hamilton's contract. When Lewis's age wasn't a factor, keeping it on the team was a foregone conclusion. In addition, we saw in 2022 that George Russell could keep up with the competition and even outscore them over the course of a complete season. Russell is obviously closer to Hamilton than Valtteri Bottas, though this may not hold true when the car is in contention for victories. This has the potential to spark another Rosberg-Hamilton confrontation, which is never good for team success. But before worrying about the driver issue, the team must first determine if it can construct a car that can win more races. This is a thing we'll be most looking at for next year, as Mercedes were finally able to get rid of all their issues towards the end of the season. So everyone is expecting that Mercedes are ready to come to the grid with a heavily upgraded car to make sure that the W14 won't be a failure. A fresh crop of F1 team principles. As far as team leaders go, December was a complete revolving door. The departure of Mattia Binotto from Ferrari was a major catalyst for change. In 2023, Frederic Vasseur will take over as Ferrari's new team boss, while Andrea Stella will take over as McLaren's team boss, and Andreas Seidel will become CEO of Sauber, where a team boss has not yet been chosen. Jos Capito also resigned from his position as Williams' team boss. Possible employment with Sauber lies in his future. In Formula One, a management shakeup is rarely a quick fix. As a result, prior to 2023, it will be fascinating to observe which team has gained or suffered the most from these changes. Ferrari is under extreme strain. That gets us right to Ferrari, where the stakes have been raised since the departure of the team boss. According to the news statement, Binotto resigned, although everyone knows that Ferrari didn't want to keep working with Binotto, and the Italian gave up because of this. When the higher ranks of a company dump a manager after he brings the squad back from bad to second place in the global championship, you know that nothing but first place will do. So the strain is on new team leader Vasseur, despite the fact that the car for 2023 has long been developed, and the organization is likewise structured as the previous team boss desired. It takes time for a large organization to implement changes. As a result, driving conditions will become more stressful. While Ferrari did make some missteps as a team in 2022, Leclerc also made some mistakes that cost him the World Championship. Compared to Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in the title duel in 2021, he was not as flawless, making it easier for Verstappen to win the title in 2022. As a result of recruiting Vasseur, the team now has a member who is already familiar with Leclerc and may have more faith in the Monaco native. What effects this will have on Carlos Sainz, who like many others, hopes to one day be a world champion, is an open question. Neither he nor his management team are willing to settle for a supporting role. A new power battle within Ferrari could result from this. Ocon takes on Gasly. Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon's team battle is the most anticipated of all the team's duels. Everyone knows what happened between the old friends. A fight in French karting ended their friendship, and neither of their parents could keep their cool. Despite assurances that relations have improved, parents are still not permitted to attend the same race weekends. Both Gasly and Ocon, and perhaps even others, have earned a reputation for being troublemakers in Formula One. After already having disagreements with Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso on the squad, Ocon now has a beef with Gasly, and Max Verstappen has a beef with the Frenchman as well. Gasly alienated everyone at Red Bull Racing by going his own way instead of following in Verstappen's footsteps. They were so productive early on that he was fired after only 6 months. Given the potential for internal strife between two ambitious French nationals, It's clear that a strong team leader is required to keep the peace inside the French squad. However, Otmar Szafnauer has not established a track record as a kind of squad manager who can pull off such feats. Under his direction, for instance, Ocon and Perez crashed into the wall multiple times, and Fernando Alonso and Ocon's 2022 showdown was interrupted. Several highly anticipated newcomers and one returning favourite. Furthermore, in 2023, there'll be a number of drivers to keep an eye out for who are either new to the scene or have returned. Nick de Vries is clearly the man to watch for the Dutch. After creating history with his Williams debut at the 2022 Italian Grand Prix, he'll get a great opportunity to establish himself at AlphaTauri. De Vries' new teammate Yuki Tsunoda is quick yet unreliable. De Vries, who was outstanding in all his earlier races primarily because he was so reliable, will need to catch up to his teammate rapidly. Helmut Marko isn't known for being a patient boss, so if things don't improve, it may be over in a year. The stakes are high for the Dutchman now. Oscar Piastri is a second newbie. The Alpine fuss puts an instant spotlight on his first appearance. After Alpine financed Piastri's training costs for years, he decided to leave the team. McLaren released Daniel Ricciardo from his contract to sign Piastri. Many will now question whether the Formula 2 and 3 champion was truly worth the investment. This is yet another way in which Piastri's teammate Lando Norris makes life difficult for him. The Brit is the favourite of the squad, and he's shown leadership potential over the course of the past 2 seasons. It's not an easy opponent to face as a rookie. Also making his debut in 2023, Logan Sargeant may have already weathered the storm of the most intense scrutiny. A lot of pressure was put on the young American's shoulders before the final race in Abu Dhabi, because Williams presented him as a driver for 2023 before he had his super license. Sargeant dealt with it very competently. In the upcoming season, he will debut in Formula 1 alongside Alexander Albon. Not only do we have a few newcomers, but we also have a house guest in Nico Hülkenberg. The German will return to Haas with a permanent seat in 2023, after sitting out for the previous 3 seasons. Not to mention with Kevin Magnussen, an opponent of his from the past. The two have more experience in Gasly and Ocon and less to prove, but they still might be a dynamic combo to watch. And the last story for today, but certainly not the least. Will Perez feel Ricciardo's hot pursuit? After a tough 2021 and 2022 season, Daniel Ricciardo is looking forward to a quiet 2023. The fact that he's still associated with F1 as a backup driver for Red Bull Racing gives him faith that he will return in 2024. A top-tier squad with a recurring topic of conversation for him, because he clearly has racing victories in mind. Because of this, he chose to serve as a reserve for Red Bull instead of racing for Haas. While Christian Horner has made it clear that Daniel Ricciardo does not have a race seat guaranteed in his contract, having Ricciardo on the sidelines is going to raise the pressure on Sergio Perez. The relationship between the Mexican and his squad showed signs of strain by late 2022. How that strain will manifest itself in 2023, should Verstappen once again prove superior, remains to be seen. If that's the case, Ricciardo will gladly step in. What's the story you're most looking forward to? Is it seeing the new faces on the grid? Or is it the possibility that there will be an exciting championship battle next year? Or are you hoping to see Danny Ric behind the wheel of a Red Bull somewhere during the season? Or perhaps you're excited to see something happen next year that we haven't discussed today? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to discuss them with you. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already, and we'll see you in the next video.